So apparently, we're supposed to be getting a surprise ban announcement on Monday. Surprise! Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. I hope you are having an enjoyable Saturday. We have a very interesting situation on our hands in terms of magic bans. This is the ban that is and isn't at the same time, possibly? Basically what happened was a Twitter user named Robert Taylor located some information, and I'm just thinking about the fact that this information has been located at all is insane. Basically what it is if you were to go to like Wizards website, type up into the address bar a particular address talking about like banned and restricted October 12th, 2020, like on Wizards website, there is a web page specifically for an October 12th, 2020 ban. And when you go to try and access the website, it says access to this page has been denied. But that's not the error that you get when you go to a web page that doesn't exist. That's an error you get when you go to a web page you're not currently yet able to access. So for example, we actually saw the exact same thing when after a Twitch stream, I don't remember exactly which one it was, but they did a promotional Twitch stream and they said at the end of the Twitch stream, we are going to put an article live that covers all of the details that were covered in this announcement. And so once the Twitch thing ended, the article should have been live. And we were all trying to click on it because as somebody who's just as into magic as you are, I'm like, let me know, I want to see the stuff. I didn't see the stream, I want to know. So you get this message saying access denied. And then once the article officially goes live, you stop receiving that message and can access it normally. But if you were to try and go and look up ban dates from like 2022, it would just give you an error saying that page doesn't exist. So there is a page there, but it doesn't automatically mean we're going to get a banning. I feel like there's a high likelihood, but let's talk about the possible scenario where we might not get a ban, right? Because obviously most people, when they think of bannings and what needs to go right now, there's a couple of really obvious candidates. Everything is centered around Omnath right now, specifically because we are basically in like the grand finals weekend of Magic the Gathering, which is one of the newly renamed Magic events that I fully don't understand all the breakdown of everything and how it all works because they keep changing everything so much. But suffice it to say, there's a big Magic event going down this weekend with a lot of eyeballs on it and high skilled players, right? So this is where you're going to see like the highest level of Magic play, and you're going to see the decks that are a problem, right? Now we already have had a problem with Omnath decks being so dominant that they felt the need to do an emergency ban right when Zendikar came out. Zendikar Rising got officially released in paper, emergency ban Uro to try and decrease the power of Omnath. Now, Omnath is going to put up a big showing at these grand finals, but there is the potential that Wizards of the Coast has preemptively written a ban article, or maybe even two, right? Based on possible outcomes of the event. So if the grand finals go poorly enough, then they will go, okay, we're going to make this ban announcement live. That may be why we didn't get any information ahead of time. You know, most of the time when it comes to bannings, Wizards will give us a heads up in advance. So it could be a scenario where they're not giving us a heads up because they are basically going, we don't know how the grand finals are going to go. What if somebody else has come up with or a group of people have come up with decks that are better and Omnath's reign is at an end and the meta is about to become more balanced? So it could be that they are taking a wait and see approach to this. It totally could just be that they have the ban locked and loaded and the writing's already on the wall. Let's be very real about the environment that we're living in right now, because it is very different than a year ago, but we're living in extremely similar circumstances. And by that, I mean, what I compare is Oko to Omnath, and not from the perspective, and I know it is, they start with the letter O and they're both mythic, I get it, but that's not it, Sherlock. That's not the key to the problem. But they are an excellent case study example of the difference between then and now. So Oko was tearing it up, right? Oko flew under the radar for a bunch of people, myself included. Like, Omnath burst onto the scene right away. Oko took a little bit of time to really flex and go, what's up, I'm here. Like, it took longer for Oko's presence to be known. But when Oko's presence was known, he basically dominated the game to the point where it became a one-deck format. Normally, when a meta warps, like in a terrible way, you will have a scenario, you'll have one deck that is the king strong deck, right? But then you'll have another deck that is like David to that deck's Goliath. Like, we're gonna get you in the head with the rock, boo, you're done. You know what I mean? That's normally the kind of balance that will arise. But if a format's really warped, instead of being that 2-deck format, it becomes a 1-deck format where like everybody's playing a variation of that. It's like everybody's running Oko, everybody's running Omnath. So Omnath has like insane levels of representation. Now, the format hasn't been going on long enough for Omnath to fully like swap it out into like a 1-deck format the same way that Oko was. But either way, when this was all happening with Oko, there was a bunch of frustration and outcry from the community. But it was also surrounded by a sense of frivolity and hilarity, I guess, is really what I'm trying to say. It was more of a meme to us. The amount of Oko memes that floated around, I mean, people photoshopped my head onto Oko. I had an Oko background. I had Oko t-shirts. Like, Oko was a thing, and we all didn't like what was going on with the game, but at the same time, we're all just kind of like, that Oko stuff, man, come on, dude. You know what I mean? That was the environment. But now we have a scenario that has multiple factors coming in to aggravate it, right? So you've got Omnath, who's blazing to prominence much faster than Oko did. You've got the fact that now we're going through the exact same routine. Omnath is showing the same level of significance in events, the same amount. He's showing up the same amount in events. Although we'll talk about how showing up a lot in events doesn't automatically like mean it's the biggest problem in the world. It's weird. The way that all this works is weird, but Magic is complex and intricate, right? So we've got to look at it for what it is. But regardless, right now, people are way more riled up. Even if they're not consciously aware of it, subconsciously, they're going to feel like we're going through the same cycle we went through before. And what, you know, that whole like, do it once, shame on you, do it twice, shame on me kind of thing for letting you do it, that sort of saying, that applies here where, okay, you know what, we had 1 year of you doing this, all right, you know, shame on you. And then another year, and it's like, wait, is it me, man? Am I like that's how people end up feeling. And you combine that with the fact that people can't get out to enjoy Magic the same way that there's fewer outlets to enjoy Magic. People are stuck inside with less to do, and they're able to fixate more on this sort of thing, and they're more likely to fixate on this sort of thing because when the world is crumbling down around you, finding something to focus on helps you escape from that, right? So in the case of some people, getting frustrated about what's going on with Magic is an escape from reality. Preferably, the escape would be enjoying Magic. That's what we want. We all want to have a good time and enjoy the game, right? So regardless, we've got this scenario where we're most likely looking at a ban. Yes, Tamura Adventures is obviously kicking it hard too, and we'll talk about their potential like interweaving into the banning as well because they may get caught up. I feel like the last banning was very light touch where they just went, we're going to just gank Uro, he's gone. And they didn't do anything else. And people were rightfully upset because that wasn't going to lead to balance. And here we are looking at a potential ban. Now, let's be fair as well, since we talked about the potential of there being a ban and not a ban. Let's talk about the formats as well. What formats could theoretically get a ban in them? Well, I feel like Modern is pretty much just wherever Modern's at right now. I don't think there's anything that's really disrupting Modern to a massive degree. The only thing that I know right now that's having any real impact on Legacy is the whole Rick from The Walking Dead thing. And that's actually something I wanted to cover in a separate video. And I certainly don't believe that Wizards is going to issue a ban for a Walking Dead card that they're still selling and will not be shipped out for many months. So that sort of a ban just seems insane to even discuss. So that it can't be Legacy, it can't be Modern by those metrics. It feels unlikely for it to be Brawl. Brawl's like a side note, but who knows? I mean, theoretically, Brawl could get one, but that doesn't mean anything to anybody, right? Pioneer, does anybody even talk about Pioneer anymore? So that's irrelevant. Historic, there's a possibility. They could maybe kick Muxus to the curb, right? Because I haven't played Historic in a while, so I haven't dealt with it. But last time I played Historic, Muxus was everywhere. Like every 3 out of 4 games was just Muxus. It was all over the place. So theoretically, Historic could get a Muxus ban, but I think that it's the overrepresentation of Omnath in Standard that's really going to be pushing this. So Omnath obviously is the biggest problem, right? And it's crazy to think that a creature with 4 different colors in its mana cost could be such a problem. You know, like it's just, this should be more difficult to cast. That's like, a casting cost is supposed to be restrictive. And it seems like Wizards of the Coast is almost resentful of the fact that they have to use casting costs now and just want to make crazy, like, broken things and ignore casting costs and make things free. So first of all, Omnath is surprisingly easy to cast, which should never be the case. Secondly, he nets you a card as soon as he enters the battlefield. So even if somebody destroys him right away, you've replaced the card in your hand, so you're not even behind a card. And then you have 3 different things you can get from landfall. 4 life. So, like, right there, you've got a 20% life boost just off of 1 land. You get a mana of 4 different colors, Omnath's casting cost back when you lay your second land. So he's free as long as you can lay 2 lands the turn you played him, and will just generate successive extra mana as you go along. Because why not, right? Why not? And then on top of that, he can just do 4 damage to all your opponents and their planeswalkers. Like, it's so much tacked onto a 4 mana package. And if he was difficult to get out, it'd be a different story. But he's not. He's totally not, because you've got things like Lotus Cobra. Lotus Cobra is villainous. This card is too strong for Standard right now. Like, we've got to be real, man. Like, honestly. Omnath is one thing. The Lotus Cobra, he's a bigger problem to me. You know, like, Omnath is the face of the problem, but Lotus Cobra's the body. You know? That face, that head, it ain't getting around without the body. Lotus Cobra, like, on the surface of it, you go, what's the big deal? Lotus Cobra. They had it in the original Zendikar. It wasn't that big a problem. The thing about Lotus Cobra is you have to answer it right away. Like, immediately. If they drop the Lotus Cobra and you don't destroy it, you're almost guaranteed to lose the game. Like, you're virtually guaranteed to lose if you can't hit a second turn Lotus Cobra. How bonkers is that? That's in, like, we're playing standard Magic, and if I can't answer your 2-drop, you're going to win this game. You're going to gain such insurmountable advantage just from your 3rd turn that I can't recover. That's obtuse. That is so unbalanced. It's crazy. And the thing about Lotus Cobra is, it's not just Omnath. It's not just Omnath who can benefit from Lotus Cobra. For the entire time that Lotus Cobra is in Standard, it's going to enable not only mana ramp, but color fixing. It's crazy times. It just, the combination is just absurd. Lotus Cobra and Omnath is absolutely out of hand. It's so wrong. So Lotus Cobra, like, Omnath is a symbol of their disrespect for us as customers. It genuinely is. It's literally just, you know what? We don't care about the Standard format. It doesn't matter. You know, the CEO of the company specifically came out and said, I'm paraphrasing here because I can't remember the exact wording, but roughly what he said was, if we make a set of Magic cards, 250 cards in it, 2 or 3 are a problem, I'm good with that, as long as we don't have a problem with the rest of the set. That's pretty much what he said. So this is, like, knowingly essentially been the plan. Just push this powered nonsense out and deal with it, and just keep rolling the bans, man. Who cares? Who cares about consumer confidence? Who cares about people's enjoyment in a format? You know, it's just, and we reach the point where the cards need to be banned. Like, we want them to be banned. The environment's so poisonous that we need them to ban these cards, even though it hurts us and we can't even play with the cards. And yet they still won't do it because they want to sell us more poison. Like, that's it. Here's the poison. Can we stop having the poison? No, because we've got to make money off the poison. We'll ban this poison in 6 months when we've got new poison. It's like, well, that's not inspiring a lot of faith. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's disappointing. So we've got this scenario where you've got Omnath, and there's the potential contender in the form of Temur Adventures, right? Where you look at it and go, okay, I mean, there's crazy value off of Lucky Clover and the Innkeeper. You put that together, it works really well to give you a lot of advantage in terms of extra card draw and extra mileage out of your adventure spells. And it's a pretty gross package. So it might actually turn out that if they ban Omnath or something in the Omnath package, like Lotus Cobra, and it actually weakens Omnath, that they're actually going to need to nerf Temur Adventures as well. Like, they're not going to want to have to do another banning in a week or two when Temur is just crushing House too much as well. So they may need to actually nerf both decks. I mean, at this point, we're looking at a bizarre scenario where Bone Crusher Giant represents 92% of the field. So 92% of decks that are being played are using Bone Crusher Giant. And normally when a card's getting used that much, you would point to it and say, the format is being warped around that card. Do you know what I mean? Like, Once Upon a Time, for example, was so ubiquitous. It was everywhere. Everybody used it. It was too powerful, and they got rid of it. But the thing about Bone Crusher Giant is, it's a very solid card. And obviously, when you can double it with Lucky Clover, it's really good too. But overall, it doesn't scream broken the same way that the other cards we're talking about do. So we have a scenario where a card that's actually showing up more than other cards doesn't feel, it's not the problem. It's a symptom of the problem, at least from my perspective. If you have different feelings on this, by all means, feel free to expound upon those in the comment section, because it's not like I know everything about the game, which is, it's funny because some people treat it that way. Do you know there are people who, if I get anything wrong or don't know any particular tiny little thing, they'll go, you call yourself the Magic historian? And it's like, dude, they expect me to know everything about every single thing that's happened in the entirety of Magic history, including knowing what every YouTuber who talks about Magic's done, every article that's written on Magic. I'm not even joking. That's the level of expectation people have on me. And the comments that I get, and I look at it and it's like, am I supposed to take this seriously? Yeah, I'm the Magic historian. So what? I didn't name myself the Magic. I know absolutely everything about the game. Test me. That's not my name. You know what? Cut me some slack, man. I'm just trying. I got up today. My foot's hurting. Got to deal with all this nonsense. I'm just a sad old man. Anyways, to get back on track, let's talk about what's actually likely to get banned. Because I mean, I feel like they're not going to ban all. I feel like they're more likely to ban Lotus Cobra, and I genuinely hope that, I mean, I'd be good with them. Just ban Omnath, ban the Lotus Cobra, hit the Lucky Clover too. I don't know about the Innkeeper. You know what I mean? Like, completely smushing adventures into the dirt. I don't know how I feel about that. And I'll be honest, I don't know that much about Temur Adventures as well. I haven't seen, like, it hasn't been as prevalent for as long as, I can't believe how fast the meta moves and how fast all this goes now. Because Zendikar Rising still has months left. Like, we're not getting a new set till next year. And we're already talking multiple bannings, a format that feels stale. Like, this is just, it's not an ideal time to be playing Standard, really. Let's be real. But it is an ideal time if you want to play Command or something like that. I mean, except for the people who are good at The Walking Dead. Or the Cube. You know what actually I'm doing, guys? I'm building a cube now that's just like a channel built cube. So I'm only putting cards in the cube that have been sent to me, either like as singles or in products that people have sent me, because I got my old cube. I love that. I'm setting it to the side, and we're starting a new cube built in a new way. Just figured, since I'm talking about other ways to enjoy Magic, that I would let you know. Sometimes people think, you're miserable, you hate Magic. It's like, dude, I'm loving Magic. I have my cube stack right now. This right here. This is the birth of the new cube, my friends. This is like it's all stuff that I've been given by people who enjoy the channel. So I wanna keep growing it. I'm gonna let it grow in this box, so I'm hoping to fill it up. But either way, you know, just bear in mind that even though things aren't going great with Magic right now in some ways, you can still enjoy yourself. I am, and I want you to as well. So that's all I have to say really about the bans and everything. So let's wrap this up. If you like what I'm doing here, like, comment, subscribe. A whole bunch of new people have subscribed to the channel. I'm glad you're all here. Thanks. It's been moving pretty quick. I got no complaints. It's good times. So, other than that, have a great day. And you know what? I'll put up my new lore video. I've got another one coming out tomorrow, but I'll put one up here for you. Go and check it out so you're up to date, so you can enjoy the next lore video, because oh my god, the one that comes out tomorrow is amazing! So is this one, but the one that's tomorrow, oh man, things are getting crazy! All right, see you later.